The soft sound of rain against my office window on the 20th floor had always brought me peace. That Thursday afternoon, I was organizing financial reports while watching the drops form hypnotic patterns on the glass. As a senior manager of a multinational company, my life was a well-orchestrated sequence of meetings, spreadsheets, and strategic decisions. Everything perfectly controlled, predictable, exactly how I liked it. But the universe has a peculiar sense of humor when it comes to our perfectly organized plans. I remember checking my watch, 3:47 p.m., an apparently insignificant time that would be forever etched in my memory. My phone vibrated with a message from my younger sister, Soraya. "Amina, we need to talk. It's about Dad." Something in the simplicity of that message made my heart tighten. Our father, a respected university professor, was the pillar of our family, the guardian of our traditions. He had taught me everything about our faith, about the importance of maintaining our Muslim roots, even in the bustling Western corporate world. My hands were trembling slightly as I typed a response. That's when I noticed something strange in the window's reflection. A soft light, different from the fluorescent office lighting. I turned to identify its source, but before I could process what was happening, I felt intense vertigo. The world began to spin, colors blending like wet watercolors. I tried to steady myself on the desk, but my fingers found no support. It was as if every molecule in my body was detaching, floating toward the ceiling. That's when I saw myself, literally saw myself, sitting in my office chair, motionless, with the phone still in my hand. I was floating above myself, observing my own body like a distant spectator. This can't be happening, I thought, trying to rationalize the situation. But it was. And it was just the beginning of a journey that would completely transform my understanding of faith, life, and purpose. The sensation of floating was surreal, as if I were suspended in an invisible ocean. The office I knew so well began to dissolve into a silvery mist. The walls, the furniture, even the constant hum of computers. Everything was replaced by a deep silence and a soft light that seemed to come from all directions. That's when I saw it, a luminous presence that I cannot describe in earthly words. It had no defined form, but emanated an energy that reminded me of the warmth of the sun on a spring morning. I felt simultaneously terrified and at peace, as if every atom of my being recognized something familiar in that presence. "Amina," the voice sounded within my consciousness, soft as silk but firm as steel. "You have been living your life in carefully organized compartments, haven't you?" The question hit me like lightning. It was true. My life was a series of perfectly labeled boxes. Work, family, religion. Each aspect carefully separated from the others, controlled, managed like one of my corporate projects. "Show me your heart, Amina," the presence continued. "Not what you show to the world, but what you hide even from yourself." Suddenly, memories began to flow like a high-speed film. I saw myself ignoring Soraya's calls when she needed advice about her divorce because I was too busy with an important presentation. I remembered the times I performed my daily prayers mechanically, checking emails on my phone between prostrations. "You've turned your faith into just another task on your to-do list," the voice observed, not with judgment, but with a compassion that made me tremble. I wanted to protest, to defend myself. After all, I followed all the religious precepts, didn't I? I fasted during Ramadan, paid zakat, wore the hijab. But the words died before they formed. For the first time, I saw the naked truth. My religiosity had become a facade, a checkbox on my daily task list. "What happened to the girl who used to marvel at the Prophet's stories?" the presence asked. "The one who would cry with emotion upon hearing the adhan? Where is the Amina who felt Allah in every beat of her heart?" Tears I didn't know were possible in this state began to flow. I remembered that younger version of myself, sitting on my father's lap, while he explained the deep meanings behind each surah of the Quran. How had I strayed so far from that purity of heart? "I'm not here to judge you, Amina," the voice continued, "but to awaken what has fallen asleep. Are you ready to see beyond the walls you've built around your soul?" "Yes," I answered, my voice trembling with an emotion I couldn't contain. "Show me." The environment around us changed, and suddenly we were in my apartment. I saw myself sitting on my prayer rug, performing the morning salah. But what I witnessed left me disconcerted. While my body moved through the ritual movements, my eyes constantly drifted to the wall clock, and my mind was busy planning the day's meetings. "Observe carefully," the presence guided. "See how haste has contaminated even your most sacred moments." The scene changed to the office. It was a Friday, and I had declined an invitation from Fatima, my younger Muslim colleague, to go to the mosque together. My excuse was an important meeting, but the truth, which I now saw clearly, was that I didn't want to waste time on something that could be done later at home. Community is not just an abstract concept in Islam, the voice explained softly. It's the fabric that connects the souls of believers. Other memories began to surface. The moment I ignored a request for help from a colleague in financial difficulty, arguing with myself that he should have been more responsible with his money. The times I silently judged other Muslim women for their choices different from mine. The countless occasions when I put my career above everything, justifying that professional success was a way to honor Allah. Your faith has become armor, Amina, the presence observed, when it should be a bridge. I saw myself in numerous situations where my religiosity served more as a barrier between myself and others than as a channel for connection and compassion. It was painful but necessary to recognize how I had distorted the teachings that were once so pure in my heart. But realize, the voice continued, now with a note of hope, that each breath is a new opportunity. Allah is Al-Rahman Al-Rahim, the most merciful, the most compassionate. The presence guided me through other memories, but this time showing moments of unrealized potential. Conversations that could have transformed into deep connections, opportunities to help that went unnoticed, chances for spiritual growth that were ignored in favor of convenience. Your professional life doesn't need to conflict with your spirituality, the presence explained. In fact, every aspect of your existence can be an expression of your devotion, if lived with awareness and true intention. I felt a wave of understanding pass through me. There was no need to compartmentalize my life. The successful executive and the devout Muslim didn't need to be different people. They could be complementary facets of a complete human being, living in harmony with their deepest values. What should I do? I asked, feeling simultaneously small and full of possibilities. The luminous presence expanded gently, enveloping me in an ethereal embrace of understanding. Start with the basics, Amina. With intention, Naya. Every action can be a form of worship when done with the right heart. New visions began to form around us, but this time they were different. They were possibilities, untrodden paths, potential futures. I saw myself in my office, but now transformed. A small, discreet prayer space in the corner of the room, where other Muslim colleagues could perform their prayers during work hours. I saw myself guiding young professionals, not just about business strategies, but about how to maintain their spiritual integrity in the corporate environment. Your leadership position is not an accident, the voice explained. It is an amana, a sacred responsibility. The scene changed to the meeting room. Now I saw myself conducting negotiations with a new perspective. Not just seeking profit, but ensuring that each deal was truly beneficial for all parties involved, incorporating Islamic principles of justice and equity. Success in business and moral rectitude are not mutually exclusive, the presence continued. In fact, one should strengthen the other. Other images followed. A mentoring program for Muslim women in the corporate environment. A study group during lunch hours, where employees of different religions could share and learn from each other. Social responsibility projects that really made a difference in the community. Your professional life can be a means of dawah. Not through words, but through actions and example, the voice explained. I also saw myself at home, transforming my daily routine. Prayers were no longer just a rushed ritual, but moments of true connection and reflection. Ramadan fasting wasn't just an obligation, but an opportunity to develop empathy and self-control that reflected in all areas of my life. True spirituality doesn't exist only in the mosque or on the prayer rug, said the presence. It must flow through every aspect of your existence. One of the most impactful visions showed me organizing monthly dinners at my home, where people from different backgrounds gathered to share meals and stories. Muslims and non-Muslims, co-workers and neighbors, all united in a space of mutual understanding and respect. You have the power to build bridges, Amina, the voice resonated, to show that a Muslim woman can be professionally successful without compromising her faith, and that this faith, when truly lived, only enriches her contribution to the world. The light around me began to change, becoming softer, more embracing. I felt a sensation of return, as if being gently pulled back to physical reality. Before you return, the presence said, there's something you need to understand. The change you must undertake won't be easy. There will be resistance, both external and internal. New images formed. I saw myself facing skeptical looks from colleagues when I began prioritizing my prayers over non-essential meetings. I saw some people distancing themselves when I started speaking more openly about integrating spiritual values into the corporate environment. But observe this as well, the voice continued. The scenes changed, showing positive outcomes. A young Muslim intern thanking me for showing her she didn't have to choose between her faith and her career. A non-Muslim colleague sharing how my example inspired him to be more authentic with his own beliefs at work. My team developing a culture of mutual respect and understanding. Your journey isn't just about you, Amina, the presence explained. It's about creating space for others to be authentic too. I saw myself in my office, now transformed into a space that reflected harmony between professionalism and spirituality. Green plants softened the corporate environment, Quranic verses in Arabic calligraphy discreetly decorated a wall, and there was a sense of peace that didn't exist before. Remember, the voice continued, that true leadership comes from example, not authority. Your actions will speak louder than your words. The final scenes showed moments of quietude. Me taking a pause to meditate between meetings, dedicating time to read the Quran during my lunch break, offering a kind word to a struggling colleague. Greatness isn't in grand actions, Amina, but in the consistency of small daily choices. I felt a deep peace envelope me, along with a growing certainty of what needed to be done. The presence began to dissolve gently, but its final words echoed with clarity. You are ready to return now. Remember, each moment is an opportunity for choice, each interaction a chance to manifest the divine in the mundane. I slowly opened my eyes, still sitting in my office chair. The clock showed 3:48 p.m., only 1 minute had passed. My phone was still in my hands, Soraya's message glowing on the screen. But I was different, profoundly different. I took a deep breath, feeling each molecule of air entering my lungs as if it were the first time. The office looked the same, but my perspective had completely changed. Every object, every sound, every person visible through the glass partitions. Everything seemed connected in a sacred web of existence. My first action was to respond to Soraya's message. I'm leaving the office now. I'm coming to your house. Some things are more important than reports. While organizing my desk, I noticed Sarah, a young analyst on my team, looking worried at her workstation. On other days, I would have ignored it, focused on my own agenda. Today, I stopped by her desk. Is everything all right, Sarah? Her eyes widened with surprise. I rarely initiated personal conversations. Actually, I'm having trouble balancing deadlines with my prayer times, she confessed quietly. I smiled gently. Let's solve this together. How about we talk tomorrow about adjusting your schedule? The relief on her face was immediate. Really? Thank you, Ms. Amina. In the days and weeks that followed, I implemented subtle but significant changes. I transformed a rarely used meeting room into a space for reflection and prayer, available to employees of all religions. I started a mentoring group focused on balancing professional life and personal values. Resistance came as predicted. Some executives questioned whether these changes would compromise productivity. Others suggested I was mixing religion with business. But the results spoke for themselves. Team satisfaction increased, the work environment became more harmonious, and curiously, our productivity improved. My relationship with Soraya and my father also transformed. I discovered that Dad was facing some health issues. Nothing serious, but enough to make him question his own mortality. Instead of offering practical solutions as I would have before, I sat with him, listened to his concerns, and shared memories of when I was little, and he taught me about our faith. You're different, Amina, he told me one day, his eyes shining with pride. More present. 6 months after that transformative experience, my life had found a new rhythm. My prayers were no longer just rituals, but moments of true connection. My work wasn't just a career, but a way to serve and make a difference in people's lives. 1 year after that transformative afternoon, I sat in my new office, now with a window facing the sunrise, allowing me to observe the first ray of light during my morning prayers. On the wall, delicate Arabic calligraphy read, "With every difficulty comes ease." A constant reminder of the journey that brought me here. What began as a personal change had transformed into something bigger. Our company was now recognized as a pioneer in spiritual wellness and inclusion practices. The mentoring program I started had already helped dozens of young professionals find their own balance between career and faith. Sarah, that worried young analyst, now led her own team, implementing the same principles of respect and understanding she had learned. More importantly, she had become a bridge between different cultures in the corporate environment, proving that leadership and spirituality can walk together. In the weekly meetings I organized at my home, it wasn't unusual to see executives sitting next to cleaning staff, sharing stories and breaking social barriers. The aroma of Arabic coffee and spices filled the space while deep conversations about faith, purpose, and humanity unfolded naturally. "You've created something special here," commented a non-Muslim colleague during one of these gatherings. "It's as if you opened a door that everyone wanted to walk through, but nobody knew how." That night, after everyone left, I sat on my prayer rug and reflected on how an experience of apparent loss of control had given me the greatest control over my life, not through power, but through conscious surrender. The luminous presence from that day never returned in the same way, but its echo remained in every choice I made, in every life I touched, in every moment of genuine connection I created. I understood that that experience wasn't an end, but a beginning, an invitation to a continuous journey of discovery and service. Today, as I write these words in my diary, I observe the sunset through my office window. It's the same place where everything began, but now transformed just like me. The 20th floor is no longer just a symbol of corporate success. It's a beacon of hope and transformation. Our spiritual wellness initiative at work has spread to other company branches in different countries. I receive messages from people I've never met personally, sharing how their lives changed after their companies adopted practices similar to those we implemented here. The support group that started in my living room now occupies an entire community space, with weekly programs including meditation, interfaith studies, and social service projects. Seeing people from different backgrounds, religions, and social classes coming together in mutual understanding is a constant reminder that that transcendental experience had a purpose greater than just my personal transformation. My relationship with Soraya blossomed in unexpected ways. Together, we created a foundation that helps professional women navigate the challenges of maintaining their spiritual identity in the corporate environment. Dad, now recovered from his health issues, is an active advisor to the foundation, sharing his wisdom with a new generation. Sarah, who once hesitated to express her faith at work, now leads international workshops on conscious leadership and spiritual inclusion. Her success is a living testament to how authenticity can be a catalyst for professional and personal growth. The deepest transformation, however, happens in the small moments of daily life. In how I start each morning with gratitude, how I conduct each meeting with conscious presence, how I end each day reflecting on the blessings received and shared. I learned that true spirituality isn't a destination, but a continuous journey. Each challenge is an opportunity for growth, each interaction a chance to manifest compassion, each moment a possibility to connect with the divine. That near-death experience wasn't an end, it was a birth. And like every birth, it marked the beginning of something new, something bigger than myself. Today, I'm not just a Muslim executive. I'm a bridge, a facilitator of transformations, a guardian of sacred spaces in the professional world. And to you, who has come this far in this narrative, know that your journey can also begin now. Each of us carries the potential to be an agent of positive change, to create spaces where authenticity and professionalism coexist harmoniously. If this story resonated in your heart, you're not alone on this journey. Join our community by clicking the subscription button below. Turn on the notification bell to not miss our next transformation stories, and share in the comments your own experience of seeking authenticity. Let's build together a new way of living, working, and growing spiritually. And remember, sometimes it's precisely in the moments when we think we're losing control that we find our true direction. May Allah guide us in our continuous journey of discovery and service.